Today on Auto Shots, we have a new segment for you known as the Auto Shots In Depth. And to introduce this segment, I've got a very nice car for you, which is a car that's the most powerful car in the segment, the longest car in the segment, and also has the most boot space in the segment. That's the Hyundai Verna. The front, let's start from the looks of this car. I've seen this car in a lot of videos and I've not been a very big fan, but now that I see it in person, it looks good. Especially this big logo serves a very good purpose because when sun shines on it, it stands out. You have a long DRL strip that goes throughout the body. You have LED headlamps out here, but you don't get a LED side light. That's a different. You get a halogen, and you don't get fog lamps because the headlights are placed so low that you don't really need fog lamps. And a nice design element that is this. Okay, these flaps, or it just makes the whole car look cool. But I'm sure a lot of people are going to scratch this particular part. Okay, now if you see the black box here, that's the ADAS. You get level 2 ADAS directly from the big brother Tucson, which gives you lane assist. It gives you adaptive or smart cruise control, what Hyundai calls it. Now the car that we have here is the 1.5 liter turbo, the top of the line, that produces 160 horsepower and around 253 newton meters of torque. This particular car, you get black 16-inch alloys with red calipers. But I'll tell you one thing, okay? Hyundai, why did you forget to paint this caliper? Probably they forgot to paint this caliper on these new variants. They'll probably paint them in the future ones. Now from the front, we've seen that looks good, looks nice, looks radical. From the side, yes, this car is the longest car again in the segment. And if you see this sloping roof line over here, that's somewhat like the A7. It's a coupe like design, which looks good. And also, if you notice, there's a lot of crease cuts coming down. I mean, I was just wondering, recently you had the Lamborghini design director move out to Hyundai. Has he done this? Or he's been a very big inspiration. Now let's come at the back. On the back, you have these, again, the same nice strip that goes across the body, and you have these tail lamps. Now Hyundai is known to make good looking tail lamps. Look at that pattern inside. But yes, I don't really like this reverse and the side light put out here. Looks like afterthought. They forgot to put it here. They would have looked good, but yes, that's what it is. Now when I stand and I look at the car, when it's still, it doesn't look that very great, but when it rolls down, or when I'm following it, it looks amazing. Now, as I did say, this car has the biggest boot in the segment. And yes, it does. Okay, that's pretty big. And you have a woofer too. Well, we are on the inside of the Hyundai, and on the inside you get all black interiors. Now this is the top of line 1.5 liter turbo. So on this one you get all black interiors, and if you wanted to choose the beige interiors, then you cannot get it with the turbo. That's pretty sad because I like beige interiors. Okay, now the most interesting part about this car are these two screens. Now we'll come to this screen a little later, but this is the 10-inch display, the infotainment system. You get Blue Link. You don't get wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. That's a very weird thing, but this has the Bose infotainment system, which makes it interesting. Let me show you a little glimpse. Yep. Yes, I'd agree. This car has a good sound system. I had to make a few changes in the bass, treble, and the mids to get it this nice sounding, because all Hyundais have that particular problem. Their setup is not that great. But let me tell you this car sounds pretty amazing. It's a bomb. Now, another interesting thing, this particular console is tilted towards the driver, which makes it easy for the driver to control. And these vents or the AC controls, well, where are they? Missing, right? No, they aren't. You just press this, you can control the temperature, the fan controls, and let's say if you wanted to change the track, then again you can change the track from this knob and the volume. This is very interesting and is very intuitive, because while driving I don't really have to think much. The knobs are doing the job for me. Apart from that, you have ventilated seats here, and you have heated seats, and the ventilated seats work. Okay, you have a C type, you have a 12-volt charging and a normal USB and a wireless charger. This car is ready to take care of your phones. You have a gear knob directly taken out from the Creta. You can put off all the parking sensors from this switch. You have a camera which is of a very nice quality, and they also give you adaptive lines which will help you while you park, and you can control your drive modes from here, which you have eco, normal, sport. This is what I'm going to use. Okay, now here you have two small cup holders, and let me also tell you that this is the car that you get electronic parking brake, which is now engaged, small cup holders, and where's the big cup holder, and a big cup holder. You also have an adjustable armrest, which is very difficult to move. Okay, we need to oil that thing. And you have some storage space out here. Okay, overall you have an auto dimming mirror with these three buttons. That is a blue link button. You can call a towing van if you're in trouble, or you can directly call the emergency services. Now let me come to the steering. Now this particular steering, I'm not a very big fan. Looks very weird but feels good. Okay, lot of good material used all over the car actually. Even the dashboard is made out of good material. The doors, there is padding that is given here, and this car feels solid. Now this particular display, you have the speed, or you have the RPM that is given here. The speed is shown here. Well, let me just, oh, I'm sorry, this is the automatic. My bad, my absolute bad. Okay, now you can see your navigation. If you're in the blue link, then it will replicate the navigation here. You can show your tire pressure monitors over here, and I guess drive to display tire pressure. Let me just drive a little bit for you. Okay, it's not showing, we'll drive later. Okay, you have the smart cruise control that comes here, wherein you can decide the distance between the front car and it will adjust it automatically. This car gets level 2 ADAS from the Tucson, directly from the Tucson, which means you get these three features. That is, it will hold the lane for you. You don't have to worry. It will make sure it keeps safe distance from the front car, and also it will give you a warning if there's somebody at your blind spot. That's the blind spot monitoring. Okay, that's the time. That's the navigation again. And now those are the features that you get in this car. And also don't forget, you get the auto hold. Apart from that, you have all these button switches, and these switches also feel good. You have folding mirrors. Oh, there is one interesting thing I forgot to tell you about the folding mirrors. That's, you cannot fold these mirrors after you cross 30 kmph. That's pretty interesting. Here you have adjustable height, adjustable seat belts, and yes, and there's a little bit of music that's being played. Well, overall this car is absolutely feature packed, but you know, there's one feature that it misses, which I like in my Hyundai. Where's the sunglass holder? No, right? Oops. I'm right now sitting at the back of this car, and let me tell you, it's absolutely comfortable. There's a 6-foot guy sitting in the front. Hey Nikhil, say hi.
Hi.
Okay, and he's adjusted the seat as per his height, and I have enough leg room, so much and so that I can keep my legs on top. Okay, but yes, there is not enough under thigh support. Okay, and if there had to be a 6-foot guy sitting somewhere here, then he would have struggled a little bit with headroom. You get an armrest, foldable armrest with 2 cup holders. You have enough storage space that is given here. You have these AC vents. You don't get controls on the AC vents. You cannot control the airflow, but you get 2 AC vents. There's a storage space, and there are 2 C-type ports that are given here. You also get isofix mounts for your baby seat, but those are placed inside. Okay, in terms of comfort, you get adjustable, height adjustable headrest, and you get a courtesy curtain. So, you know, on a hot day like this, you can stay pretty comfortable. Overall, if you're somebody who's chauffeur driven, this car is good because there's good amount of material, or good material, being used inside the car. There's no compromise done by Hyundai, and you feel nice, you feel great, you feel comfortable. You can go for a nice drive. Now it's time for me to drive this car. Yes, it has a very nice driving position, feels good, feels nice. Okay, you have a nice gear lever which is smooth. You don't really have to worry about all the other things. It's got auto hold, the car will not move. All those features take care of your comfort. You don't have to think twice. All you have to do is put it in drive. This is the automatic, and press the accelerator, and the car lifts off pretty smooth. There's And it also picks up speed pretty smooth. The gear shifts are smooth. The suspension, you don't feel any vibration as such. Okay, you don't feel the road as much, but also, we are today, to be honest, we are driving on a very good tarmac. And let's just find out, okay, what this car does. That's 70, that's 80, that's 90, that's 100, that's 120, that's 130. My god, this car is crazy. Oh, okay, yes. So when they say okay, so when they say it's 160 horsepower, well, it is 160 horsepower, and it is 160 horsepower crazy because we almost touch 150 on this small road. The initial acceleration of this car is not that amazing like the Virtus. The gear shifts are nice, smooth and linear, but once this car picks up speed, there's nothing that can stop it. Okay, I'm not a very big fan of the brakes. The brakes are pretty spongy as such. You really have to work the brakes to make it stop. It doesn't give you the initial bite, but you have to press it. Yeah, you have to press it pretty deep. But we also have to understand this car has been driven as a test drive vehicle for 4,350 kilometers, and when you give Indians a 160 horsepower car to test drive, I'm sure they've been giving it the beans. Okay, and I'm pretty sure this car is also a pretty good gas guzzler, because when we took the car out of the showroom, it was at around 50 kilometers, and we've been driving it for around 11-12 kilometers and keeping the AC on, giving it beans a little few times, and the range is there at around 10. Okay, so don't really believe the MID. Okay, if I had to put it in manual and see how it shifts, okay, that's nice and quick. Let's see. Fourth, okay, that's cool. Fifth, oh, it listens. So overall, to be very honest, if you had to drive this car on a daily basis, you would be pretty comfortable. There's nothing, no worry, no headache. But as you catch up speed, and if there is a bumpy road that is there, then the car is going to jump up and down a little bit because of the softer suspension that it has. But if you're driving in the city, it is going to keep you absolutely comfortable for sure. Now that we've driven the car, we've been inside, we've been on the outside, and we've also explained you the looks, and we felt the car. Well, I'll tell you one interesting thing about this car. What really makes this car interesting is the engine. Okay, that produces 160 horsepower, which makes it the most powerful car in the segment. Secondly, it's a good city car. It's a good highway car. It's a very comfortable car. It's also a powerful car. But let me tell you, it's not about being perfect here. It's about being good at everything. Because it's not perfect, because in the city it's going to guzzle a lot of fuel. That's fine. On the highway it's going to be a little bouncy because of the softer suspension. But overall, it's an amazing package because it can do both pretty well. And that's what Hyundai has gotten for you. They have got you a comfortable car, they've got you a fast car, and they've got you a great package at a very good price point. It is an expensive price point, but for now, I'm going to give this car a thumbs up.